The bar spoon is great for keeping your hairy knuckles out of your shaker. That's why it's so long, but it's a long handle. It's got a coiled shaft to make it easier for stirring. So typically, if you're making a martini, you've heard the story of shaken, not stirred from 007. All right. So Ian Fleming, who is the author of the 007 novels, he wanted that character of 007, James Bond, to be a guy who stood out from all the other chumps in the bar. He looked around and he was like, oh, these guys. So he was a very masculine character, against the grain type. And so when all these other guys in the bar asked for their martinis stirred, he did the opposite. He did a Costanza, basically. And he said, I want mine shaken. He had it shaken. And then everybody saw the movies and thought, oh, that's how you're supposed to drink the martini. Because that's the influence of cinema and celebrity and that sort of stuff. But typically, if you shake a martini, you're breaking up the ice. And the more it breaks, the smaller it gets. The smaller it gets, the quicker it melts. The more it melts, the more diluted it gets. That's why guys like, Winston Churchill, I'm talking old timers, Winston Churchill, FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt, they used to drink hard because they were under a lot of stress. But when they had their gin martinis together, there's a famous story that Churchill, when he was having his made, he would only allow the sun from the windows to cast, because he drank early, cast a shadow onto his martini glass, and that's as much interaction as he wanted vermouth with his gin. Because vermouth is like, geez, I gotta take my glasses off. I'm at that age now, 18% alcohol, all right? So technically, if you're adding 18% alcohol to a 40 or 42% gin martini, you're watering it down. So he didn't want any of this stuff in there. And so that's the story behind shaking and stirring.